What are we doing today? Of course, we're drafting. Uh, Always drafting. That's all we do is draft. Hmm. Vivid Revival seems pretty bad, so we're not going to pay attention to the rare slot here. Conclave Tribunal's probably the best card in the pack, though. So let's just go ahead and take that. Goblin Banneret is insane. House Guildmage also very good. But we want to play a bit more aggressively, I think. So we'll take the Banneret. Good thing we did because there's a Boros Challenger. All the payoff cards, maybe a Hawk will come back around to us. We would even take a Fresh-Faced Recruit. There's a Luminous Bonds. There's also a Wojek Bodyguard. But yeah, we want the Luminous Bonds. As much removal as possible. Skyline Scout to help round out the curve a bit. Intrusive Pack Beast I don't mind taking early, and I've become less and less of a fan of Demotion, especially as an early pick. So let's grab ourselves a Pack Beast here. Rubble Belt Boar or Shield Mate. I think we'll take the Boar. Issa, you don't need to yell. We'll take the Boar here. There's a Barging Sergeant. More awesome stuff for us. Oh man. Yeah, Cosmotronic Wave is just too good to pass. I like having Crush Contraband in the sideboard, although I have found across this format that enchantment and artifact removal are just less important than what you would expect. So we'll take a Restorer here. That's always good. Fresh Face Recruit did come back. We would rather have that than the Gird for Battle. We'll take a Guild Gate in case we see anything worth a blue splash. Garrison Sergeant is fine. A Vine can go in the sideboard, and an Okapi can go in the sideboard. Well, now we actually have some decisions to make. Parhelion Patrol or Inescapable Blaze, I think, is the question. I'm going to take the Blaze. 6 damage for 6 mana that can't be countered at instant speed is just a really nice top-end fireball. So we will take that. Here, I think we would rather have a Shield Mate than a Torch Courier or an Experimental Frenzy. Maybe we do want the Shield Mate, actually. Tough questions. Yeah, you know what? We're gonna take the Shield Mate. That Torch Courier probably comes back to us, and that's fine. Give me 1 second. Let me grab this unicorn and give the dog some water. Issa, if you just didn't drink water, this wouldn't be a thing. Have you ever thought about just not drinking? Get down. Down. Alright, wow, that's a whole lot of good cards we are looking at. I think we just want to take the Sky Knight Legionnaire here. Erratic Cyclops is so reliant on big instant and sorcery spells getting cast. True Fire Captain is a magnet for pointed removal. Sky Knight Legionnaire just gets in there, does damage, is exactly what we want. Another Challenger or a Giant, I think we take the second Challenger. That card's just insanely powerful for what it does. So here we're looking at a Hunted Witness, Sworn Companions, Velocity, Locket. I believe the correct pick is just to take the Guild Gate, though. It helps turn on the Sergeant, helps smooth out our mana, especially with how many 2 and 3 drops we have right now that want both colors. There's another Sworn Companions, another Sergeant, another Locket. we're going to take the other guild gate. Second Sky Knight Legionnaire I'd rather have than a second Banneret or Recruit. Here, things get a bit iffy. I don't particularly like Maximize Velocity at all. I'm also not a fan of Take Heart. But we probably just grab this since it actually punches through some damage, or at least imitates punching through damage as a combat trick. Here we'll take the Torch Courier. I've found that Goblin Locksmith is pretty powerful out of the sideboard in some of the grindier matchups, so we'll grab that. Ledev Guardian seems fine. Another Locksmith for when we need it. I guess we grab the Velocity even though it most likely doesn't get played. Alright, full Boros payoff. We can snag a Tajik and go to town. Here's a Crater Maker, filling out the curve quite nicely. Another Crater Maker, or a Book Devourer. I think we just take the other Crater Maker. That does so many things for us. Here we'll snag the Collar the Culprit. It's probably going to stay in the sideboard for the majority of our game ones. Well, I should just say it's going to stay in the sideboard for game ones. And then we'll bring it in when we need to. Don't want a third Locksmith. And we don't really want a second Guardian, but it's fine in the mirror, especially if there's any worry that we might get overrun. So what would we rather have in multiples? The Sergeant, the Boar, the Restorer, or we could take a single Book Devourer. Well, let's look at the curve. We are fairly high. We're not drawing any cards. That said, for Book Devourer to draw us cards, it's got to get in for damage. It's coming down on turn 6. It does not have Convoke. It does not have Haste. I feel like taking a second Sergeant is just going to be better for us than a Book Devourer. The turns you cast this, it immediately impacts the board in multiple ways, and it isn't contingent on anything else making it worth its casting cost. We'll take a second Collar the Culprit for the sideboard here. Hunted Witness is fine. It's a pretty good card to soothe up with mentor effects, just because you are getting extra value if they do decide to pop off some removal on it. We don't want a third Guardian. We really don't want a second Sergeant when we only have 2 guild gates. So we'll take a third to help round out the mana base and activate the first one we have. Here we'll take the Devourer since there's nothing else for us. Street Riot will never get played, but we'll take it. Locksmith won't get played, but we'll take it. Vapors to the sideboard, and Pax Favor to the board. And let's go ahead and get to work building this thing. So we're just going to send everything up top, the same that we would if we were building in Magic on. Oh, okay. Yep. There we go. We are back. Alright, so let's go ahead and just fill this out. We're going to come back to the Unicorn. That's actually a card that I'm not super high up on. It can be good, but I feel like most of the time it's a bit of a letdown. God, there's just so much good stuff here. Okay, so right now we are looking at 17 creatures. Wow. And that's without a shield mate. Let's get our guild gates in here. And then start looking at removal. We definitely want the blaze. We definitely want the wave. Both of those just kill people dead. Tribunal and luminous bonds are going to be okay. We will play a take heart even if we're not really big on it. And let's see, that puts us at 22 spells. You know what? I'm gonna put one color in the main. It's a reasonable pick. It's not always going to have a target, but the times when we don't see a target, we can at least infer based on the deck our opponent's playing whether or not we do want to leave that in. The times we do see a target, it'll be relevant. We can bring in the second one out of the board for game 2 if we feel the need. So this is what we're going to register, and we will be back for round 1 in just a few.